Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti. We're zooming in again, Pete.
We are, Darren, yeah, for different reasons. You've been in the truck all morning to saddle up here for 1 o'clock, and I got to push off at 4 o'clock because I'm on the bandwagon now, Darren. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm going down with my boys to watch Carlton play the Swans.
You think you'll win?
No, because I'm going. I reckon we've had these memberships going for about, I reckon the kids are 6 or 7. And I can only remember one winning game we've been to in the last 7 or 8 years. Not that we've been a lot. So anyway, down at Marvel under the roof. Yeah.
So you got some signs you're going to hold up?
What signs?
Yeah, big signs.
I'll take the ATB banner.
Yeah, take the banner, mate. So we love ATB. We need the publicity.
Yeah, so, no, anyway, we're looking forward to it. We haven't been well, COVID's prevented us for 2 years from going anywhere like that. So the kids are looking forward to it because I'm driving. We were going to take the train, but they've been stopping and starting a bit. I think they all called them to a halt yesterday, and I thought that'd be magnificent if they pulled up stumps. We're in Melbourne, so we'll take the safe option and I'll drive.
Righto, let's have a look at last week's runners. Where do we go back to?
We'll go all the way back to this time last week. We had Shine and Dandy in a race that, hopefully can win. And he all bar won. Bloody Pat Ryan knocked us off with one of his horses. It was a good run. It was a sort of a muddling race, and he come from way back in the field and he hit the line really strongly. Look, for consistency, he's been terrific the last 3 runs without getting that win on the board.
Yeah, he's around the mark, isn't he? He's obviously just a big staying thing and probably hasn't got much. He did have a little bit of a turn of foot there and did run him down. I couldn't believe Pat Ryan's horse beat us. That just rubs salt in the wound, doesn't it? But anyway, I believe he was having a hurdle trial today, and we're just waiting for the report to see where we go now. But that's his second hurdle trial. That'll qualify him. So we'll just see what Andrew wants to do from here. So look, he's probably nearly paying his way without winning.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe not quite.
No, the Hamiltons and Coloranes and Caston and Hurdle, if he's going down that path, there's maiden hurdles coming up sort of over the next, 10 days is Hamilton, and then, Colorane, Caston follow. I don't know. He can certainly stay, so if he can jump, that might be his go. Big weekend for you guys. You, as we intimated last week, you're travelling around Australia, pulling up the frequent flyer points, and you went to Adelaide, and we had 2 runners. Pretty hopeful that we could win the Derby with Detonator Jack. Look, I think he's ran terrific. Ran 3rd. Were we too far back in the running? I think he ran into the race, loomed to be there, and did the effort tell late, or did he just train off? I think the place getters were sort of back around where he was. It's typical of those derbies where 3/4 of the field just cannot stay the trip. Look, he was really good. He's had a great prep, and I mean, it's no disgrace running 3rd in a Group 1 derby.
No, I brought him home. He's home. He came home yesterday, so he'll have a nice spell now. Probably didn't pan out the way we expected it to. The instructions were to be midfield with cover. I think when he was just a little bit slow away, Johnny just went negative and grabbed hold of him and slid across to the fence and then got him behind the winner. The second horse, the Cliff Browns, was on our outside, and the 3 of them were back there 16 lengths off the lead from the first half of the race. And we're all standing in the mounting yard thinking, what the hell is going on here? We never expected in our wildest dreams to be back that far, and that told in the end. But when he took off at it was probably somewhere around the 600, he sort of took off, and the winner took off, and he hooked around and ran right into it like he was just going to run away with it. But that effort of making up all those lengths told in the end, and he was vulnerable late. Did a good job to stick on for 3rd. Disappointing to see the second horse run past us, to be honest. We're never going to be able to pick up the leader. but probably a bit disappointing to see the second horse run past. It's just told us probably he was below his best on the day.
Yeah.
Maybe with the run he had, it didn't really, like, he didn't have an economical, easy run. He had a very hard run, and he had to really find the line. He certainly had enough for this prep, so he's come home. He lost no admirers. I understand the winner's been sold to Hong Kong for $2 million. I understand the horse Harley Moven's been sold for around the $1 million mark. We certainly had offers over $1 million for him this week, but the owners are certainly not interested in selling him because he's got so much upside.
Yeah.
For the next prep and probably more so in 2023. But he's a very exciting horse. Didn't go to plan 100% Saturday, but that's racing. They don't give away Group 1s, but when you run third in a Group 1 over 2,400 or further, it actually passes the ballot exemption for the Melbourne Cup for the next 2 years. So that's a nice little thing to tick off.
Yep.
We'll find him some nice races in the spring and see if we can just season him up because he's still not fully seasoned. Talking to David Eustace, he agreed that he's probably not seasoned enough for a Melbourne Cup this year. And the other thing I said is he may be too brilliant to be a genuine 2-miler because he certainly's got a big turn of foot, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe at this point of his career he can't run out the 2-mile just yet. So Bendigo Cups, Ballarat Cups, Queen Elizabeth. There's some nice races. There's plenty of racing in the spring for him with Werribee Cups, all that. We just got to work out what we want to do, and so we'll give him a month off and pull the rug off and have a look at him, and then work out whether he can go in or he needs a little bit longer. But he's a very promising, exciting horse. We had a massive team over there on Saturday. We had 3 tables booked for lunch, and we had a whole room booked for dinner. And we had a fantastic weekend and some really top people in that horse. And I think everyone had a great time. It was almost for us like the re-emergence of ATB post-COVID. So I was probably the worst wounded on the Sunday. Up to about 1:45 in the morning, Pete. I'm too old for this. The owners all deserted me and left me with Rousey and the Moneybags boys, and then they were all kicking off to a nightclub, and I was smart enough to not join that in. And I got tangled up with a good friend of mine, Stephen Everett, who raced True Corsa, who's now a small syndicator down at Colac. And they were throwing back Jaeger bombs, but I stayed out of that. Thank God, but still ended up wounded. I think we were the last to leave. There must have been breadcrumbs on the footpath. It was the only way I could find my way back to my room, but a big day was had by all. But it was a re-emergence, and Sunday I was wondering whether I was going to be able to get on the plane. I was struggling big time, but anyway, we got home safely, and we had a wonderful time. We did have another runner there on the day.
Capriccio.
Capriccio with Daniel Bowman.
She's decided
she had every chance. Yeah, she had every chance. She's just not performing. Probably typical a bit of the I'm Invincible breed when they get to this age. They just seem to switch into broodmare mode. And look, she was there. The race was presented to her at the Warwick Coin on the corner, and she just wouldn't let down. So we've picked her up today, and we've made the decision as a group that she'll go online and be sold as a broodmare in about 3 weeks' time. So she's done a job. She's won over 300,000. She was a 300,000 purchase, and she'll probably make 300,000 in the ring. So whilst it's been disappointing this prep, when they switch off these mares, they switch off, and you just got to move on.
I think too, with Daniel Moore being on her the last 2 starts, I think he felt a bit of that at Caulfield, and then it confirmed his thoughts. And he was basically saying that, look, she's not trying. So if you had a different jockey on, you just sort of wonder, you get a different report. But anyway, she certainly could gallop when she was at her best. It's just a pity we probably didn't quite see her best. Just back to Detonator Jack, you think a horse is coming through. He's basically done all this in one racing prep. Well, he has. So it's a phenomenal effort to get to that stage. I haven't looked at the winner and the second horse, but they're probably in their second preps. So, you're giving away a bit of experience and a bit of maturity, as you said, and he'll furnish. I think 18 months down the track, you're in that 4 to 5 year old demographic. That's perfect for heading towards the Melbourne Cup if we get that far.
Yep, 100%.
Navy Girl, we're a little disappointed here how this all unfolded. I didn't know what to make of it. I looked at races before and after, and oh no, she's a bit keen. This is a platelet filly having a first start for the ones that are unaware, and she just battled away into 7th. I don't know. She probably shouldn't have went there, as you said. Maybe just turn her out as we have now. 2 more months to mature. Yeah. I don't know. Just it's a sort of left a bit. Sorry, left a bit of a sour taste after we're hearing all the reports of how well she was going.
Yeah, well, I think she started pretty close to favourite. There was big raps on her, and there still is big raps on her. The stable have got a high regard for her, but it was all just didn't work out.
No.
Look, when it got to a heavy track, she, in hindsight, should have scratched her. Too big of a ask for a 2-year-old having its first start on a bog track. I also think that, we've been racing horses at Bendigo for 30 years, and, we all know that when it's wet there, you've got to come to the centre. You can't be on the rail. And unfortunately, we led on the rail, and we're always going to stop. And it's probably half a dozen lengths inferior on the rail to the Crown. And it just, look, she didn't handle it. She wasn't ready for it. She was in the wrong part of the track. I don't know what else could have went wrong. She probably was one step ahead of Platelet, because I think she got scratched to the first start playing up in the barrier. So she's probably one peg above it. And the other thing is, Platelet wasn't a 2-year-old either. So anyway, we brought her home, and, her eyes are still out on sticks at the moment. So we just rug her up and chuck her over in the paddock and let her chill out. And we'll get the Muscle Man tour over the next couple of weeks and just see how sore she is. But she needs to chill out. She needs to have a good think about it. But not a great experience for horse or owners. I just felt that it was probably, in the end, the wrong race and the wrong conditions. The only thing I could say is that hopefully she learns from that experience, and she will show us her true form as a 3-year-old.
I think that's probably 2 things I see is it was a race day experience, for good or for bad. They improve off that. She did show some nice natural toe as well. Like, you can see there's something there. 2 months at Manningtree Park and get her back into the fro. Miss 10,000.
Sorry. Should we wishing she had raced a bit sharper next week when it starts to pour rain and the cold wind blows? She'll be wishing she was still in a nice stable, but she's going to do it tough through June and July.
Should we put the hand up for an extra rug? Yeah. Anyway, we move on. Miss 10,000 got one part of this right going forward. Took a little bit to get there, but I don't know if she handled the wet at all. Probably not. She was going a long way out. She was niggling at her. Just got to put a line through it. Obviously, she's a lease horse, and we've probably got the potential for a run maybe on synthetic with her. See what happens. If she goes no good, she's probably heading home.
Yeah, well, she's another one that probably should have been scratched when it slipped into the heavy range, because we know she just dead set doesn't go in it. But anyway, it's easy in hindsight. Like you say, they led, and it was always going to be a question when she came off the bridle. She did have to do a fair bit of work to get to the front, but I think sometimes these instructions are, to lead. Well, I don't think the trainers say lead at all costs.
No.
But they take it that way, and I think the trainers have to be a little bit careful what instructions they give and time down to, because they take it literally. And if you can't get to the lead, well, don't worry about going to the lead. Just slot in and be 1-1 or 3 back with cover. But anyway, at the end of the day, it didn't matter, because when she came off the bridle on the corner, she didn't want to go in that ground, and she looked pretty bad. So discussions with Matthew Williams and the owners is, look, we'll give her one more go on a synthetic. If it doesn't work out, they can take it back and breed with her, and that'll be the end of that.
Some of these jocks would rather get it wrong getting it right, if that makes sense. In other words, follow the instructions and then it's their fault. We went to store with 2 runners. One bloke probably prepping up for the hurdles was Periscope. It's almost 3 laps of, I think they went past the winning post 3 times. Down the straight the first time, then another lap, then another lap. He ran 50s doing his best work late, beating about 3.5. preps him up for Hamilton hurdle race end of the month.
Yeah, well, he was too heavy at Warrnambool and he needed a good tough hit out to season him up for that Hamilton hurdle. So whilst you could be critical that he was too far back in the run and he was never going to be a winning chance, you know, we would have liked to have won if we could, but Harry did get him probably too far back and didn't give him a chance. But to his credit, he finished off okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever going to beat the winner. It just flew away.
Yeah.
So, look, I thought if he had been closer in the run, he might have run second. But that should tighten him right up now for Hamilton in a week and a half. And hopefully he can get that maiden hurdle done.
That's his go. That's his chance, yep. You would think it'd be a step back from a May hurdle where they were all strong maidens. Yep.
Big time.
Unassailable. Yeah, look, she was disappointing. Can't say no more. She didn't handle that. The track was it was a disgrace yesterday, and I don't know. And her run was probably bordering on the same. But I noticed they've swapped the trials from Tuesday to Horsham because the track apparently was more sand than turf because they filled it, and that made it loose and wet. So some horses just didn't. Well, they just resented it. So that she was pretty plain. I don't know if the ride was 100% neat either, 3 wide with no cover. Yeah, disappointing because she's a filly that in the past we've seen her best runs probably in her first couple of runs, and to have that was just like, well, geez, where are we with her?
Yeah, well, we've been really patient because we've been balloted out a number of times trying to get a run, and she's just in that awkward rating. And the fact she doesn't handle the wet, we couldn't get a run in town. So, you know, in the end, we had to go to this track and probably made a bit of a mistake. I mean, there wasn't many jockeys to pick from either. And they put the young kid on and claimed. And when they jumped and then I see him grab her head and her head went up, I thought, oh, geez, shut her wind off straight away. So it was no surprise that she finished out the back.
Yeah.
With that, plus the fact that the track was in the way it raced and it was shifty, and some like it, some don't. She clearly doesn't like it. So we're kind of in no man's land there. Now, this is a nice I'm Invincible filly that our goal was just, she's won a couple of races. We just wanted to win a city race with her and send her off to the breeding barn, but I'm doubtful that's going to happen now. So what we've done is we've picked her up. We're going to get the vet to go over her next week here and just see where she's at physically, because to my eye, she does look a bit sore after that run. And she might have strained a few muscles in the run. So if the vet says we've got to pull up stumps, we've got to pull up stumps. So we'll know more next week. But yeah, no, that was not what we expected. I think a few owners would have done their dope because they all thought she was there to win, and she was never in the hunt.
It's I mean, to put a measure on how bad she went, 3 starts ago, she ran second at Moonee Valley on a Friday night. So she's gone links inferior to what we know she can go. That's it. That was our runners. So, you know, Detonator Jack, great run for third. Shine and Danny, consistent again, and then probably a bit of disappointment with a few others. Probably apart from Periscope, who's on track to do what he, we've got a little head in the background, to do what he will do in a hurdle race, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. We don't want to see you. You're sick. Go away, COVID head.
Okay.
All right. I'm talking to Darren.
Okay.
Crook with the flu. They send them all home these days. They only have to look like they're coughing and they get sent home.
Straight out the door.
Yeah, so there we go. So there are our runners.
Right, now we just got a light 3-week carnival this week.
Yeah, we have. We've got 3 nice horses running. They're giving us nice prices with all of them. We'll kick off with Literary Magnet, the filly with Matthew Williams, who lines up in a 1,400 metre race. She's top weight at Flemington. Geordie Charles from Barrier 11, 1,400. She's about $7. She was $10 or $12. She was terrific at Sandown first up. Looked the winner. Just one got off her back and got her late. I think Matthew's pretty confident she'll be enjoying Flemington. as you said off air, the 1400 metre start, you got to find a posse early from a wide gate.
Yeah, I'd be fascinated to see what the tactics are here. Outside barrier 8 at Flemington, the winning stats are not great. So it's a turn situation. So if he's negative from the jump, we'll be in strife. If he's positive, we might be still in strife. So
Well,
I'm worried about the gate. I wish it was 7 or 8, but we got what we got. Look, she's probably in some ways a class above him. She's got a lot of improvement she would have taken from that first up run. She'd been off a long time. She's a classy sort of filly, and she'll win one of these. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be next start. But look, I know Matty's pretty confident with her. He couldn't understand the price that went up either. I think they got that wrong, but she's coming to a right price now. And look, if she just has any sort of luck in that run, she'll be right in the finish.
Absolutely. And I think if it is negative and we're just off midfield, let's hope there's something that'll just bowl along at a reasonable tempo. I think the 1400s there, they can go along a little. I mean, we've had a horse in it that's gone along really, like Serious Suspect was in the race and had set it up nicely, or something that can just bowl along. You hate when they go to the front and they stack them up, because you'll be sitting 3 wide back midfield, and that's where you end up. So a bit of luck has to play out. Speaking of Serious Suspect, he's not going around over 1400. He's going around on his favourite track and trip, where he's, I think I looked at his record, 3 wins and 7 placings from 14 or 16 down the straight. He's in the, I think it's called the Straight 6. $20 chance. Seems big odds for a horse that has the record that he has down the straight.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a genuine place chance. I don't know if he's a winning chance as such, but he's a horse that I'd be surprised if he finished further back than 4th or 5th.
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise me if he won. Once again, I think it just depends on the run and the tempo. The favourite, it'll go, what's it called? Front page news or news page?
Front page, yeah.
Yeah, it'll go forward, it'll lead. And you can just see him hopefully sitting outside it. We've got a jockey change. Craig Williams has gone to Adelaide for the Goodwood Day. And we've got Luke Nolan on him, who trialled him the other day and was rapt how he went. And he's just got a knack of riding winners, Luke Nolan.
Yeah.
So, he's going to suit the horse. I think if he jumps out and you can just get him into a good rhythm, and he can just, give him that little bit of rain as he needs it, and he's sort of on the outside of him and not bottled up, he's a chance to be right in the finish. So we felt the other day that, I think that was his Caulfield run.
Yeah.
Was only a short backup, and we felt he just needed this little bit of a freshen up. He didn't really handle the backup, even though he ran well for 4th. He's just busting to win a race, this horse, isn't he? Saab's probably busting more to win a race than anyone else, but the horse is in good form and they're happy with him. And, this is, all those good horses have gone to Adelaide, the Astrologist and Lombardo and all those horses are gone to Adelaide. So I think Regards Marie's not in the race. So
no, scratched, yeah.
You take all those good horses out. Now, there is a couple of young up-and-comers that sneak in at the weights, which is always a bit of a worry, but I don't think he's badly weighted. Some of those top-weighted horses are probably out of form a bit. So you got to have something each way on him. Like, he doesn't owe us anything. He's genuine. He's going to try. And if he can just get the right run, he might win it.
I think we got the ones in the weights above us covered for various reasons, and our racing pattern sort of helps him. It's just those ones you mentioned down in the weights that have got 54, 55. They're 4. We're 7 and got to carry the weights we earned when we're 4 and 5. They've got 54 and coming through. I think one of O'Brien's. It's our time. The thing you mentioned of Duray's. Front News and Curran and something else. I can only see 3 or 4 that I'm sort of thinking, well, can we beat them home? And if we can, we probably run a place, because I think we got the rest covered just on the form he's in, because all 3 runs his prep have been terrific. We just know how well he goes down the straight. Luke Nolan, maybe he can just put these Sirius's hoof prints in that horse he used to ride called Black Caviar, and run a 189 and get home. He would have won 10 times on her down the straight.
As long as he doesn't think it's black caviar and leave it all for the last 400.
Yeah, well, she used to get home in splits breaking 10. So if we do that, we're laughing. No, he goes there as a really good each way home. Sunday, we go to Sandown. Now, we've got this promising 3-year-old called Arizona Dreaming. Won at Donald, did a lot wrong. Still got the money. He's a $20 chance, Darren, in a benchmark 64 over 1400. The one factor I like about this is Dean Holland has probably given up a book full of rides in the bush to go to Sandown.
Does Dean Holland know that a horse that wins its maiden only about 1 in 16 winners next day?
He probably doesn't know that. They can't take too much in these jocks. But yeah, you're right.
Him that's going to town. I mean, didn't know Jack did it, but he's special.
Yeah. There wasn't much on the calendar. There wasn't much on the calendar. I think Matt Kamani's words were, at least we can draw a line and where he is, win, lose or draw.
I think his pre-race was pretty upbeat, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think he gave
a real good push.
Yeah, I mean, his racing pattern from Donald, and we've only ever seen that, is he's going to be somewhere on speed, whether it's just in behind him. So takes a lot of bad luck out of the equation. He's got to have improved fitness-wise off that run. Just hope his manners have improved.
You reckon you'll be going to hit him on the left with the whip?
Yeah, well, he'll be well aware now. I reckon he might have some glue on the seat. I watched that race closely. I watched that race closely again. He actually nearly got dislodged. He went in that hard.
He did. He was out of the saddle, literally out of the saddle.
Yep.
If his toe had to come out, he was
gone. Yep.
Yep. No, I saw that. Good horseman, good strong little rider. He's given up a full book there to go and ride him, so good on him. He obviously knows he's a fair horse, and it's just always a bit of unknown when you go to town second up after a win, what you're going to run into and whether you're good enough. So I'm surprised he's $20. I can't see him starting $20. I think he's got to shorten up. There might be a few scratchings too, but no, I think he's a good each way chance. I think all those 3 runners we've talked about this weekend, you could take him in a multi all up the place. I don't know what it'll pay.
I mean, you get $50 a place. Well, he must be $4. Serious Suspect the same, and you probably got 250 Literary Magnate. So you 4, 4, 16, 20. Yeah, you probably get 50 to 1. 3 of them run a place. So for $10, it's easy this game.
Not easy.
No, it's easy. It's easy and up.
It's easy if they get up. But I think all 3 are place chances.
Yeah.
And they're all big odds. So but I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's obviously the first foal out of that mare, Arizona Girl, and we're sort of a little bit excited about where he's going to go, and I think the trainer's even more excited.
And I think in time now, we know we've got a horse here potential to get way out in trip too, like 1,600 to 2,000. Maybe Stratum Star was a great miler and won at 2,000. Arizona Girl was the same. So there's some stoutness there in the breeding, and the step to 1,400 could be ideal off the 1,200 at Donald for this stage of his career. So, looking forward to seeing how he performs for sure. That's it that we know in concrete. Going forward, Mildura will be a dandy man. I think the main reason is to find, I think it's a Vobish race, but also a dry track up north. Steinem next weekend. So we're a little bit out of our league. I think we've got a clean week. We've got a week where you can sit under a tree and smoke the pipe rather than drive the truck. And also periscoping.
I think that'll be the Gold Coast mare sales, Pete, for the week.
Oh, right. You got a trip up there.
We've got we're selling La Pietra.
Yep.
You might remember her. Her last start was a win in town before she went wrong, and she's in Folder King's Legacy. She's being sold next Thursday, and our other mare that we're in partnership with, Danny Sparkle, off the track, getting sold on Tuesday. Of course, she's a half sister to Behemoth, the horse that the Group 1 winning horse, who's about 3rd favourite for the Goodwood. So if Behemoth can run top 3 in that Goodwood, it'll put a few shellacking extra in our pocket come sale day on Tuesday.
A little bit of cream on the cake, as they say.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, they give him
once that mare sale's over, that's it for the season. Oh, well, there's still the Melbourne sale, but
yeah,
we don't intend to sell anything through there. So that'll be the end of a long season.
Yeah, and then before you know it, I won't say it.
The first foal's due on the 6th of August, Pete.
Yeah, not far away. I can't believe we're nearly through May. It's ridiculous.
Well, another week, it'll be 8 weeks away.
Swan Hill Carnival's about, what's that, 3 weeks today, I think. So
you normally go to that. Are you going?
Well, I haven't been for 2 years because of COVID, but we're looking at going. Yeah, just
you normally get up there and run them, mate.
Normally get up there and have a couple of drinks at the Ulstrom bar. I don't know, I was just thinking we've generally had runners across the years, but we might be a bit light on for anything up that way. Not sure.
Not sure who could be going there this year, but anyway,
if missed 10,000 runs well, next start, there's always that 2,300 metre 64 race. I mean, you're banking on a dry track for the likes of her, but I couldn't think of too many others.
Now you're talking the headline acts, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe Arizona Dreaming in that. They have the Ulstrom up there, don't they? Is that for 3-year-olds?
That's it. Oh, I thought that was a 2-year-old race.
Oh, it's 2-year-olds.
Yeah, no, I think we'll be live on, but anyway, that's okay. Can't be at all the carnivals.
No, well, it just means I have to sit
all
in the
right,
bar.
what else have you got, Pete?
No.
Now, today you sent out. Today you were giving Archie Alexander a bit of a chop out with a nice Shalar horse.
Was it a Shalar?
Or was it a Pariah?
Pariah, yeah. No, I was going to say, I can't remember.
Seeing if you're on the ball.
I can't remember it being a Shalar. Yeah, Pariah. 3-year-old filly.
Had a look at it yesterday while I was up there. It's quite a nice filly. So if you are looking for a share in a horse and you are looking for a share with Archie, we just thought we'd send that out for you to have a look at. Every other trainer and syndicator sending horses, everyone over the world. So
we've had a good record.
We've
had a good record doing this with Archie. I'm trying to think of the horse now, but we've helped him out. He's helped us out. Connery was one that sort of come our way. So
Connery was the first one. Yeah.
First one. Yeah.
No, he can find a nice horse, Archie. So
Gamay
anyway,
was
that's
another one.
Out.
Yeah.
Gamay. Yep. I want to give a bit of a shout out to one of our old mates, Pete. Justin. He's a mate of Richard Wilson's. He's in Steinem, and he tells me that every Friday night, if we happen to have ATB TV out on time, that he comes home, sits down, puts his moccasins on, gets a bag of twisties and a can of Coke, and he sits down and watches a bit of light comedy.
Light comedy
on ATB TV. So that's how he unwinds on a Friday.
Oh, well, that's one viewer we've got.
He must watch it 200 times.
Very good.
So I want to give it. I was actually meant to buy a bag of twisties, Pete, and have them here today, but
right.
Mine. And I know there'll be one happy man up in Sydney. He's not an owner. He's just a person that loves racing, and he's always hanging around the sales, and he's been asking me, I reckon, for 3 years to send him an ATB cap.
Right.
And I finally posted it to you this week. So if you get a thing from Australia Post, go down and pick it up.
Very good.
No, he loves the racing. He says he watches ATB TV every week, and he pulled me aside up there at the sales the other night and said, "You promised me a hat, and I haven't got it. And ATB TV's not up yet." And that was on Friday night.
Oh, right. Yeah, we've sort of been...
We waited for Warrnambool. We waited for Warrnambool that week.
Yeah.
So
we've thrown a few regulars out over the last month because we've...
Yeah, well, he didn't miss me. He saw me and made a V-line for me. He said, "I don't have my hat, and ATB TV's not up. What's Pete doing?"
What's going on? It's funny. I used to go, there was Benalla and somewhere else, and there was a chap, never raced horses with us. He was all about Benalla and Seymour, might have been, and he was always at the gate. And he goes, "Oh, here's the bloke that's on that TV show." Well, look at him. I had no idea who he was the 2 or 3 times, but he obviously, whether he picked it up on Facebook or whatever, here's the bloke on that TV show. It sort of made me feel famous.
I don't know what other shows are you doing, by the way?
No. All clothes on show.
sneaky little ones on a dark night?
No. All my shows are with clothes on, Darren.
There's a lot to be said for covering up at our age, Pete.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, mate. Well, we'll leave it there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what these three can do because Storr was at a bit of a disaster yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miss 10,000 was an absolute shocker at Ballarat. So we need a good run and we're looking forward to it. It's a really tough time of the year, though, because tracks and weather, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Can change quickly.
Even these trainers, you know, trying to train. You know, Matthew Williams, I was down there at Hubbard State and he's coming back in his truck and he's got about 45 jumpers on. And he's got his beanie on.
I think
it's a shocking time of year to be training horses, you know.
I went out to the track here at Ballarat there I can't remember what day, Wednesday. I'm not a big beanie wearer or a scarf or anything, but I had as much as I could put on. The air is just refrigerated at this time of year. So I earn every dollar.
When you go to the stables, there's no staff. Like Karamar seems to have them all.
Yeah.
But Archie, no staff around, just a few. Matty Williams, normally a heap of cars there, only 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real problem, lack of staff right through, not just our industry, but every industry. And these guys are all pulling extra hours themselves just to get the job done. You know, there was horses that couldn't go to Trang last week in trial because they didn't have staff to take them and work them, and they ended up working them at Warrnambool. And, one of them had a real bad outcome on that. So, it's really cost them a run in a Group 1 race now. So, you know, it's disappointing, but I don't know how it's going to change.
I've noticed most of the stables that we're involved with, or most of the stables, full stop, social media, and you would see 2 or 3 a week, you know, looking for stable staff, just ground staff, just staff to get the wheels rolling, just to help with, you know, mucking out boxes or whatever, or track riders is another big one. And it's a weekly occurrence, you know, there'll be half a dozen stables just looking for riders. So I just wonder or hope, or maybe, you know, with the borders well and truly opened up now, I know there's a few new Irish faces around out here at Ballarat, whether there's a stream of them come out again, because one, they're good workers, and 2, it's more lucrative over here for them compared to in Ireland. So
accommodation from is another massive problem.
Yeah.
Getting a house to rent, it's just unbelievable.
Well, geez, you know, $400 a week. You want 4 of you in it just to bloody be able to cope financially. So, but if you got 4 of you in, it's probably going to cost you money too if they're Irish, because you can imagine their drinking habits. Oh, good.
We'll leave it there. Enjoy your footy. Enjoy the racing. Until next week, I'm Darren Dance with Peter Morgani.
See you guys.